What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to look at some new red and black Digimon that are going to be coming in New Hero, that new set, which is coming in the not too distant future, and which is starting to look very, very nice indeed. We've got some good ones coming, ladies and gentlemen. We've got some ones that look kind of fun. We also have some other ones that we do need to have a quick chat about. So we're going to start with one that I think we can talk about rather quickly. It's a new Gazemon. And look, Gazemon's cool, but Gazemon is one of those level 3, 2 cost to play normally, 0 cost to evolve, 3,000 power. It is a 2 cost to play level 3, and that's cool, and we like it. But it's not like we've never seen it before. So, for instance, we've got Monodramon from BT1 that is exactly this. And we've got the Beamon from the starter deck, which is exactly this. And we've got Toyagamon from BT7, which is exactly this. There are a couple others that are slightly different. But my point is, we actually do have just 3 other options that are exactly this. The thing is, I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, because what's actually happening here is that we are getting dangerously close to being able to just play a deck that is absolutely swarming 2 cost level 3s without having to mix colours that much. We are now getting a bunch of these Digimon that are 2 cost to play, 0 cost to evolve, 3,000 power. And if we get enough of these, you're going to be able to play like a mono red deck, which is just absolute full-on swarming Rookie Rush. And yeah, they've only got 3,000 power, and there are a whole bunch of decks that can counter it, and a whole bunch of cards that can counter it, and necessarily there has to be. But this is very interesting. We've now got 4 of these in red, and I think that is pretty interesting for the future of Rookie Rush. But if we want to go as opposite from there as we possibly can, and frankly right now I do, we can take a little bit of a look at a much bigger, and it's a dual color red and black Digimon, Ultimate Brachiemon. Now, we do have a proper dual color Digimon here. We've got a red and black Digimon that can evolve from either red or black. And it's a vanilla Digimon, but that doesn't make it uninteresting. 3 cost to Digivolve is fine, but 10 cost to play normally, 13,000 power. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, yes. That sounds pretty gosh darn good to me. And if we go over to digimoncard.dev, which is the best place to go searching for stuff like this, and we look at 10 cost level 6 Digimon, there's nothing like this. So in red, we've got Phoenixmon, and in black, we've got Hyandramon, and they are close, but they are 10 cost to play, 12,000 power. Now, they're also 2 cost to Digivolve rather than 3, but then they're also mono-color, so, you know, swings and roundabouts. But there's that deck Megazoo that people like to play, and the general theory of that deck is that you just play gigantic Digimon that your opponent can't deal with, and you swarm these giant Digimon as fast as you can and roll. Well, if that's the case, then you don't care about the evolution cost. So essentially what we do here is just take a couple of Digimon that have already proven to be pretty good in those kind of decks, and we give them an extra 1,000 power. Oh yeah, and now they're dual color. Obviously you're going to want to play red so you can play Gaia Force, because Gaia Force is amazing. Well, now you can do that, but actually the Digimon you're playing to play Gaia Force is also black, which opens up all the options for black option cards as well. This is a vanilla Digimon, and I know vanilla Digimon are generally not terribly exciting, but I think we might have to make a little bit of an exception here, because this is going to be pretty relevant in Megazoo decks, and for that reason I think we can get a little bit excited. Moving on then to proper black Digimon, we've got Skull Knightmon Cavalier mode, and I can't remember if I said, so let me say it now. Translations here are from the lovely folks at Ensan Gaming and the lovely folks at digimoncard.dev. We are big fans of both of those places. So what we've got here is a level 4, 4 cost to play, 5,000 power, and it's 3 cost to Digivolve from a level 3, which is expensive, But it's 1 cost to Digivolve from a level 4. So you can start stacking level 4s here. And if nothing else, I really love the idea of just, I've said this before, being able to Digivolve a level 4 into a level 4. You pay 1 memory, but hey, you've Digivolved, you get to draw a card, and you pay in a memory to draw a card, which often I'm willing to do. And this card is also treated as Skull Knightmon and Deadly Axemon. So it's called Skull Knightmon Cavalier Mode, but anything that refers to Skull Knightmon and anything that refers to Deadly Axemon will also refer to this, which is clearly a very important, relevant thing. Because, for instance, we can look at the Skull Knightmon from BT7, whereby when you're attacking, you may trash all the Digivolution cards from one of your Deadly Axemon, and place that Deadly Axemon at the bottom of this Digimon's Digivolution cards to Digivolve this Digimon into a Dark Knightmon in your hand without paying its memory cost. Well, look, this is a Deadly Axemon, so that totally works with that skill, which is lovely. Dark Knightmon, when you play it, you may place 1 Skull Knightmon and or Deadly Axemon from your hand and or trash at the bottom of this Digimon's Digivolution cards in any order. Well, that totally works here, though this doesn't have an inheritable skill, so it's maybe not that amazing. But when this Digimon is deleted, you may play a Skull Knightmon and or Deadly Axemon suspended that were in this Digimon's Digivolution cards without paying the memory cost. Oh, so maybe you do want to put it underneath this after all. And that's kind of my point here, ladies and gentlemen. We've got those skills and those cards in BT7, which become very, very relevant indeed. They all totally work here. Oh yeah, and when Digivolving, this Digimon gains jamming and blocker until the end of your opponent's turn. I mean, jamming is amazing, means you can attack the stack without getting deleted by security Digimon, and then blocker, I mean, you've only got 5,000 power. It's nice to have blocker, but unless you're blocking against a rookie, maybe this is something you don't want to do too often. But certainly evolving up and getting jamming so I can then attack the security stack without risking being deleted, yes. That sounds good to me, ladies and gentlemen. That sounds like something I can get a little bit excited about. There is a lot going on here. This is one of those cards with lots of stuff happening. But I'll be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, it's cool. It is very, very cool. Honestly, the fact you Digivolve up potentially as a 1 cost from a level 4 and get jamming, I love. But then, because it's also a Skull Knightmon and a Deadly Axemon, you've got all those other combos that come in as well. And then we've just had a card revealed just a few moments ago as I record this video that we might as well have a chat about as well. It is Hisayamon. Another Digimon I'm probably pronouncing horrendously, please forgive me. Also, stunning artwork on this card. This is a beautiful card. And what we got is a level 5, 8 cost to play normally, 3 cost to Digivolve, 8,000 power. So slightly more expensive than we'd expect. We'd generally be looking for a 737, but certainly not the end of the world. It ain't too bad. We will survive. But what we've got here are a couple of skills, inheritable and non-inheritable, which used to be really rare but not so anymore. On your turn, when the number of evolution sources of this Digimon increases via your effect, you may evolve this Digimon into an X-antibody type card from your hand by paying its evolution cost, but when you evolve this way, the cost is decreased by 1. And we've seen, like, X-antibody cards, they are all about this. They love doing this. We've seen this over and over and over again. We could look at the Dora Greymon from BT7. When you Digivolve, you may put a black card with X antibody and its type from your hand at the bottom of this Digimon's Digivolution cards. Seems pretty good, to be honest with you. Or we could look at the Dora Greymon from BT7. When you're attacking, you can place a card with X antibody and its type from your hand at the bottom of this Digimon's Digivolution cards to delete 2 of your opponent's Digimon with play cost less than or equal to this Digimon's Digivolution cards. Or even in this particular set alone, we've already seen the Aoyamon. You, when Digivolving, may place a Digimon card with X antibody and its type from your hand under this Digimon as its bottom evolution card. Or we've got that really super awkwardly named option card that I'm not even going to try and pronounce, whereby you de-digivolve one on one of your opponent's Digimon, and then you may place a card with X antibody in its type to the bottom of one of your black Digimon with X antibody in its type to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 4 or less. It's what X antibody do, quite frankly. It is their special skill, it's what they like to do, and this is rather lovely. And the thing is, it is only the evolution source of this Digimon increasing, so, you know, you're not going to be able to use the level 6, for instance, which is a little bit sad. But outside of that, love it. Absolutely love it. This is going to be really, really good. It's going to allow you to get those 6s out a lot more easily. Let's not forget that Omnimon X Antibody is an X Antibody card, so you could Digivolve from a level 5 straight up into that, if you felt so inclined. Alphamon, another example of an X Antibody card, or the Ariamon I mentioned a moment ago. The point is, there are plenty of ways you can actually start taking advantage of this and digivolving up a bit more easily, and it's just fun, yeah? This is just cool, and I love it, ladies and gentlemen. I absolutely love it. Also, I should say that option card is a 4-cost we've not actually talked about yet, but we've talked about it now. You put a card with X antibody in its type to the bottom of one of your black Digimon with X antibody in its type to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 4 or less. For 4 memory, you want to be getting extra cards under. This is pretty gosh darn cool. I don't think we've talked about it, but whether we had previously or not, we totally have now, and that's the most important thing. So I like this. I like being able to Digivolve up more easily. I like the fact that you've got a bunch of ways to get cards under, etc. That option card becoming a pretty nice way as well. And we've talked about X Antibody a lot. I'll link the Ariamon video in the description if you really want to get a bit more into X Antibody. I've not got time in this video, so if you want to see a longer discussion on exactly all of that stuff, that might be a good video for you to go and check out. The fact of the matter is, if you're playing that kind of X Antibody stuff, this is exactly the kind of thing you should be looking into. Oh yeah, and it's got an inheritable skill. While this Digimon is an X Antibody type, this Digimon gains Reboot, which is brilliant. And again, I've given you a bunch of examples, and I know not all the ones I showed you work with this Digimon. It was more to show you X Antibody as a whole. Because actually a whole bunch of them can put cards under, and this can be one of the cards put under. That Ariamon might be able to put cards under itself when it attacks, and sure, that's not going to help your static skill on a level 5, but it absolutely is going to help when you're looking at using that Digimon and giving it Reboot, which seems pretty gosh darned good to me. Yeah, this is good, ladies and gentlemen. This is very, very good. If you're playing these X Antibody cards, I think this is the kind of thing you need to start getting a little bit excited about. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen, a bunch of Digimon we need to talk about, and I now feel pretty good that we have talked about them. But you know the deal at this stage, it is now over to you. I want to know what you think about these cards. I want to know which you're excited about. I want to know, quite frankly, anything you want to tell me. Actually, I should say, I've not mentioned Yuji Mushi yet. When your black Digimon with X Antibody in its type attacks, you can suspend this to put a card with X Antibody under that Digimon as its bottom Digivolution card, so you can actually use that to either put this new dude under a different card to give it Reboot, or to put a card under this to allow it to Digivolve up a little bit more easily. So that's one I probably should have mentioned before, but I mentioned it now, and life is good. So yeah, tell me whatever you want to about any of these cards in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun stuff. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.